Right, 1902, seen as it is so cold, we'll do this as a second last check-in for the weekly net. ZS6OPS still standing by. Okay, 1903, let's do last call for check-ins. ZS6 Oscar Papa Sierra still standing by. Okay, 1904, nothing else heard. Good evening, everybody. Trust everybody is well, besides being cold and wet and all the other good stuff. This is ZS6OPS opening this week's weekly net, which runs every Sunday evening. From 1900, it's intended to run for an hour, of course, depending on what we are doing. And as we have just moved out of the national state of disaster, we're going to have to reposition ourselves and start getting Sunday evening content together and all the rest of the good stuff. And hopefully we can generate a few extra people coming up on a weekly basis. However, this week we are going to keep it short because the repeater is still running on battery. Just to remind everybody out there, listeners, firstly, good evening. Please don't be shy. Rather call in, join us, let us know that you are there. That way we will get to know who is in actual fact listening. And then for those of you that are chicken by nature, I'd just like to greet you in any event and remind everybody that you do not need to be a member of any group, any club, any entity, body, or otherwise to join the net, despite what the club members and other members and volunteers and all the rest of the good stuff might say and tell you. The only thing you need at the end of the day is a paid up ICASA license, which hopefully was paid up before the end of March of this year. If not, guys, please don't forget, pay it ASAP so that you can officially come up on the net or on the repeater or any amateur band. And that includes, of course, listening, because if you don't have a license, you're not permitted to listen either. Funny enough, that one's a little bit difficult to please. So having said that, firstly, let me acknowledge Pia. ZS6 Foxtrot Papa Sierra is up on Zoom tonight. ZS6 Sierra November Yankee Adrian, he's having a network problem, so no Zoom. And Chad, to be quite honest, first time that we're talking to you on the 625, welcome aboard. ZR6 Juliet Alpha Delta. Really glad to hear you are up there as well, especially seeing as you are one of the Income Assist Cert volunteers as well. Right, let's just have a look here and see what the statistics look like, and then we will shut the net down. Jad, you and I can pick up with Audrey on there briefly afterwards. I'm just going to clear the timeout timer from 6 OPS. Okay, ZS6 OPS returning globally. COVID-19 figures standing at 504,309,000. Now, guys, this is only up 6 million. You know, for the last 3 months, we've been looking at 15, 20 million new cases a week. This week, as I say, we are only up by just over 6 million new cases. Look, worldwide, the reporting of COVID-19 cases, as I reported last week, has been, or the criteria at least for the reporting of COVID-19 cases has been changed and modified in several countries. The US in particular are only counting cases of patients who are receiving treatment on two specific drug um, regimes. Outside of that, the numbers are not being added or counted as a COVID-19 case. So that there could, in actual fact, skew the figures, and I think that globally is going to have a bit of an impact. Then, on the other hand, with regards to the vaccinations that have been rolled out, there's something like 11 billion doses that have been 11.1 billion doses that have been rolled out globally. And then, of course, in South Africa, our weekly figures are still between 1,000 and 2,000 new cases being reported in sort of the last 24 to 48-hour period, because even there, the South African reporting method changed. It's no longer just over the last 24 hours, but it's anything between 24 and actually 78 or 72 hours at least, I should say. The death toll has always been under 10 deaths per day. On average, around about 2 and 3, to be quite honest, very low. And of course, our vaccination program is still ongoing as well. Global deaths now at 6,197,000. So we're only up about 40-odd thousand in terms of the deaths. That's also not too bad. Now, let's move on. I think the greatest news besides the cold weather, of course, we'll have to clear the timeout timer because pushing a PTT in cold weather doesn't help the thumb. Okay, ZS6IPS returning with a coolish cup of coffee now. I think the biggest news of the week, of course, is the flooding and devastation and disaster that has occurred in the KZN area. Now, many parts, for those of you that haven't been following the social media, or for those radio amateurs that prefer to get their news via radio, the good old-fashioned way, KZN has taken a walloping and a half. We are now over 430 people have lost their lives. This is an extremely high number. You know, 1987 was the last time that KZN had any major flooding that was like newsworthy, if I can put it to you that way. Every year there are incidents of certain areas getting knocked out, etc., etc. But this year it has been total devastation. Lawrence and myself, Lawrence, if you're listening, perhaps you can just, he has got a listener's license for those of you that might question the legality of it. Perhaps just let me know if you are monitoring Lawrence, by the way. Lawrence and I were having a bit of a conversation yesterday. We never really got down to the nitty-gritty of it with regards to the South African Weather Service issuing their impact-based notifications and all the other good stuff that come with it. However, Lawrence did post that there was a level 5 impact warning that was issued for the KZN area. And at the same time, I was busy having a look at the same sort of page, and it said level 4. Now, guys, where I could have said to Lawrence in the public arena, no, it's not a level 5, it's a level 4. And then we could have had the conversation where he sent the level 5 and I sent out the level 4, and we could have turned it into an argument. One thing I would like to remind people is we have to be 100% correct and accurate in our reporting, regardless of what it is that we are doing, especially, you see now this has actually become a topic for tonight, especially when it has to do with the potential of saving lives, or where it could in actual fact be detrimental to the life of others that are in an affected area. So I'm going to have to elaborate. I'm going to have to clear this timeout timer firstly. Okay, ZS6 OPS returning. All right, so I need to clarify the statement about us being 100% clear and accurate and correct in terms of what it is that we are reporting. 2 years ago, we had major problems with the whole fake news with regards to COVID-19. Government had to implement regulations and write it into the regulations that it was a criminal offense, and so forth and so forth. However, we are busy discussing 2 impact-based level warnings that were issued by the South African Weather Services. Now, before we have a look at why 2, we need to understand what an impact-based level warning actually is, or impact-based warning is. The South African Weather Services decided quite a while back, and of course Adrian has just lost his internet and disappeared again, so Adrian, you're going to have to reboot and come back up. But an impact-based warning is now based on some measurement criteria on 2 sides of the scale that will determine a level 1 to level 5. Level 1 being lowest level might be a little bit of a rainstorm, but level 5 could take us all the way into tornadoes, hurricanes, all the rest of it. Very much like our other levels that we have for 7.2 on the Richter scale, or an F1 tornado, etc., etc. So when we get a weather-based impact warning of a 4, this was issued, and at the same time, a level 5 was issued. So as I said earlier, Lawrence and I were in this discussion as to what was going on. And I must admit, it only took me personally about 4.5 hours to figure out what had actually transpired there. So what I am going to do is clear the timeout timer and explain why South African Weather Service yesterday issued a level 4 and a level 5, almost a minute apart, believe it or not. Okay, ZS6 OPS returning. Needless to say, as I said, it only took me about 4 hours to figure out what actually transpired with the issue of a level 4 and a level 5. Literally minutes apart was quite clearly this. The level 4 warning was issued for KZN. That was it. But the level 5 was for KZN, and in particular, the KwaZulu-Natal South Coast. And more accurately, the South Coast line. So it wasn't inland, but it was on the coastline itself. And guys, we need to be careful when we read these level warnings, and we need to be especially careful how we share these level warnings. Because the call could have gone out yesterday that there's a level 5 for the whole of KZN. We could have had rescue volunteers, we could have had ordinary volunteers, we could have had the population scrambling for whatever reason, or for whatever assistance, or whatever shelter, unnecessarily, purely by missing the 4 to 5 differentiation between KZN and the KZN southern coastline. So we need to be careful when we do that. Anyway, there we go. I thought I'd bring that one in and just mention it. And then, of course, the other thing is at the same time that KZN started to report on the devastation on Monday, and by Tuesday this week, the Philippines had also been affected, and they themselves had taken quite a walloping as well, different storm. But I must admit our weather pattern has changed quite considerably. Okay, that being said, I said I'm going to try and keep it a bit short tonight because of the repeater, but there again, you know, we can't carry on like this and not get the message out. I just felt that this level-based warning issue had to be discussed, so I've brought it up. Are there any questions? ZS6 OPS standing by. Okay, so that gave me a bit of an opportunity to have some coffee. On that note, I'm going to say thank you very much to those of you that have called in and have braved the cold. I must admit it's extremely cold in my office here, so I'm going to get out here pretty soon. And for those that listen, thanks for joining in and for listening. Please share the message with others. Let them come up. Of course, with the national state of disaster being lifted, it doesn't mean that COVID-19 is eradicated or has come to a stop and a standstill. So for the next week, again, of course, wear a mask when you are in public. And remember, it's to protect others. It's not to protect you. So perhaps show some consideration for other people. And Adrian, Adrian took offense to that and dropped off the Zoom again. We'll wait for him to come back up. So wear a mask. Don't forget to sanitize your hands on a very regular basis and to physically distance yourself. And of course, from me personally, be safe, be prepared, and of course, be happy. ZS6IP is releasing 145.625 for general use. Cheers all. Adrian, Zoom's still open. Okay, ZS6JA, no, correction, ZR6JAD, ZS6IPS. Yeah, a little bit soft there. I don't know if you're on the handheld, but at least you're coming through. That's the main thing. Why don't you join us here on Zoom quickly? ZS6, ZR6JAD, ZS6IPS. All right, good stuff. No problem then. Just remember that it also works on a cell phone or a tablet, so you don't need to always worry about a PC and all the other good stuff there. But I'm glad you've come up there. Nice to hear you on air. I mean, you've been licensed now for quite a number of months. And yeah, no, first time on 625, and I think it's only the second or third time we're actually talking. But glad to hear you. Yeah, trust you are well. ZR6JAD. ZS6IPS. All right, good stuff. Well, I'm glad you've come up. And having said that, I want to chat to Adrian quickly and then shut down the shack here or the office and get out here because I'll tell you what, my feet are really and truly taking a punch. So hopefully we'll hear you more often there, especially on the Sunday evening nets there. I'm going to bid you 7-3 and we'll catch you later. ZR6, JAD, ZS6OPs. All right, good stuff, Jed. Catch you later. Have a good one. ZS6OPS out, 7-3. Sure. How's it, Adrian?
Crazy on the side. Thank you, Richard.
Yeah, no, I know the feeling, dude. I didn't do much today. Friday, I've got so much work done here. It was unbelievable.
Okay.
I mean, I've got some of my balancing done. I've wired up my power supply for all the chargers in the ops room, which was Carl's old office, and all the portables were laid out and labeled, and cabling was done. And oh crap, I don't even know what else I did on Friday. I don't know what happened. I just got so much done, it was sick.
That's good.
And then yesterday was just accounts, and today it just like disappeared. I didn't want to do anything today. So yeah, and of course I got those extra radios which Rory took on Friday. Well, he took them on Wednesday, and we tested them on Friday morning. They actually sound quite good. Got a recording, I'll send it to you. Listen, are you not available next weekend? Adrian? Yeah, you dropped off again, eh? Wait, I need a headset, dude. I need a headset. I need a headset. Yebo. No, what's up with your network? Eh? Yeah. What was that on the 3G or 4G hotspot? Yeah, dude, at the end of the day, you know what? The only thing is, ultimately, the only thing we need is a solar panel or two batteries, one for operational, and one for standby, and our radios. You know, communications, we can work on a schedule, and we can say, look, call in at this time, and at that time for 15 minutes, you power up. The rest of the time it can be on charge. You can conserve your battery power, you know, all kinds of shit. Eh? Well, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Adrian, one of the reasons, or what I asked you now was, are you not available next weekend? Because, uh, not, fuck it, because, shit, man. Okay. Because you know this fire at Eldorado Park was deliberate. That even our Joburg mayor's been out and said it was deliberate. I've now got contact with the CPF guys in Eldos as well, and also one of the CPF guys from Maritzburg has joined the Herald. But he's also ex-Red Cross, and he knows Nathan and a couple of the other guys, and he was a volunteer with Sheila Hind here, who I trained out here in Florida, and you know all these good people in that. So things are starting to look up on one side, but really looking cuck on the other side. We are in for fucking dark days. I'm telling you. Well, there's a lot of that steel that's been removed, and you know, the electrical cables, everything else, even that fire and underground cables at Joburg. Uh, I suspect that somebody actually started to burn the cable so it would short out, that they could in actual fact strip it out and then lost control of the fucking fire. You know, so yeah, no, there's just too much happening, dude. Is Tuesday a good day to do it because you got everybody traveling back? Yeah, fuck, it's unreal, like. Uh, yeah, dude, you can do so much shit with the micro tickets, unbelievable, like. Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah, all right. Yeah, it takes a fair bit of programming, but they work well. They really work well. All right, cool. I'm gonna shut everything down here now and get out of here. And I really didn't want to put heaters and that on at the moment, but fuck it, if this weather carries on like this, and I think we got another 2 days of this weather. It's like bottomed out. All right, cool. I'll catch you later.